Hey, Anoka Hennepin staff. My name is Paul Tatkenhorst, and I had the privilege of working with a great group of teachers and support staff this summer to come up with some templates for the Google Classroom. So I'm just going to run through some things on the teacher end for us that you'll be doing this trimester with your Google Classroom as far as posting assignments in your Google Classroom and activities for your kids. I'm going to start with the Stream tab. On the Stream tab, you'll see that really the only thing that you would post here are things that are going to be like kind of living documents that aren't going to change throughout the trimester. So maybe it's your syllabus or calendar, or maybe some student resources, things like that. That might be some things that would be here on the stream. Otherwise, as you see in this banner here, it's asking everyone to, with the nice big arrow, to go to the classwork page to find their assignments. There is another video that demonstrates how to do some of these specifics as far as making the banner. So I'm going to go right to the classwork because I'm not going to spend much time in the stream. One thing to note, though, that I think is a kind of a cool thing to know is that in the stream, you want to make sure you hide notifications. Unlike my classroom last year, they got every single assignment popped up in the stream. I did not realize that. I could have just clicked hide notifications and that would have never happened. So just one thing to note that you want to turn that off. So everything lives here in your classwork tab. In fact, you might not even post anything in the stream. Maybe your top thing would be the classroom resources, and maybe you have your syllabus there or unit calendar or whatever you think kids would need that kind of lives right there. So that might be a spot that you could have as well. Now, as far as the organization and layout, we're just trying to make sure that things are a little bit more similar across courses, so it's easier to navigate for students and parents. And so based on feedback from many people, this is how we have it set up. So we create our topic and we're going to go by date. And then you can certainly include the learning target or benchmark number and also the topic that they're covering that day. You don't need to take that away. You can still add that into there. You could even probably add Unit 1 or Unit 2 if you wanted to in this title as well, if that helped. But please make sure that the date is also on there. That's really going to be the important key here. So under the topic, I created some assignments, and so you can kind of see what that looks like. So this being what I'm covering today, this is what I would have covered yesterday, the day before, and so on. And they could scroll down. If students were missing something, they could just scroll to that date, or they could locate the benchmark and the topic that they needed to either remediate on or do for the first time. They could scroll to that and do that. But otherwise, the things that's due the most recent is going to be up here. So that's what we're covering today. So put the date in with the steps. That's going to help later for organization purposes. So I did not do that last year, and I'm telling you, it's a good idea to do it. So please do that. It's easier for the students and for the teachers if you put the date there. And then you just put your steps they want to complete. So step 1, step 2. Under step 1, notice it's due tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So due date will help for the students because then they can look to see what's missing and what's coming up. If you do not have a due date, that will not pop up for them. So these two things I have due that they need to submit. They will need to click turn in on there and I need to know that they turned it in. So make sure you have students turn that in. And then this one down here does not have a due date because this is more of a video explanation that I created for the answers. So, we are encouraging teachers to use like videos of themselves as often as they can to kind of keep you in front of the students even as they're at home. So whether that's going over answers or having the introduction for the day or a lecture, once in a while, you can use the Screencastify, which is now unlimited for our district, and create your own videos when appropriate. But again, I don't have a due date on there because that's not something that they're turning in. So real quickly, I will create an example of how you can do this. So I would create a topic, and then that's where my assignments would go under. So if it's going to be like Monday, I would put Monday, August 24th. I want to add in that it's going to be 2.3 equilibrium. So now I'm going to put some activities under Monday, August 24th for equilibrium. Now I could create my own assignments, or I could reuse some posts that I have before. I'm going to click on reuse posts. And the cool feature about this is that up here is all my previous Google Classroom. So I could grab something from any Google Classroom. You can grab it. If your CT puts a Google Classroom together, then you can grab your assignments right from there. So if I go to one of my classrooms from last try, I could grab any of these things that are already ready to post. And so maybe I look at Supply and Dance Band, kind of introduce the topic that I had that I used a puzzle with. So I can reuse that post. I can write any instructions if I want down here. Now it says step 1 here. Remember I said I made a mistake and I did not put dates on here before. And it's important to include the date that that's due for organization purposes. And certainly the topic is, I don't want to under Tuesday, April 28th. So these are the topics I have created here. And I want Monday, August 24th. So I'm going to put it right there. And then I want them to complete that on that date. So I'm going to put Monday, August 24th, and put a time of 11:59 p.m. So they have all day to do that assignment if they want. You can certainly change that time if you need to. So I'll save that. And there, since I put the topic, it ended up right here underneath August 24th. If I didn't put the topic, it would have went up on top, and then I would have had to drag it back down to August 24th. But since I put the topic, it went right in there. And then I can, again, reuse posts from anything that I have. If I want to put an assessment in there after that, or some other activity or video, you could do that as well. A Google form, whatever it is that you're thinking of doing, you could put steps 1, 2, and 3 and just label it with the date, just like the previous ones right down here. Thing that we'll be doing a lot more this year is some synchronous teaching. So you want to, in the Google Classroom, you can create a Google Meet link, which is super cool. Wasn't available last try, but now it's available. So in here, I would want to make this visible for students right now. Right now it's invisible. I would click this to make it visible, and I would save that. And then what you'll see is this Google Meet here. So if I clicked on that, that would bring me right into the Google Meet. That will be there for students as well. The nice thing is when class is over, then you would go back in here right away. And as long as you're the last one out of the video of the Google Meet, I can turn that off. And now it disappears. So they can't get back in there. They can only get back in there when you turn that back on. So that will be a feature that I'm sure most of us will be using daily with our lesson plans and our synchronous teaching. Things underneath for the student here to look at. You can look at your to-do list. So I can take a look at that. And I can see some of the things that are due today or this week. So these are due today, these are due tomorrow. That's why I want due dates on them. Otherwise, they don't show up there. The no due dates show up on the top here. And so they don't have a spot of when I need to turn those in because they don't need to turn those in. And then next week, we created that one assignment. So it says Monday, August 24th. There's the missing tab. Again, if I did not have due dates, these would not show up. So now they'll show up for the student to quickly see what they are missing in my class since there are due dates on there. And then parents could also see that pretty quickly as well. So that's under their to-do tab and why it's probably important to do that. And I'm not a very good student, so I have not turned in any of my work yet. So you can see that too. I hope this tutorial has been useful and hopefully will help make it easier for our students and families and as teachers for us as well.